right, welcome. Thank you for joining us today. Things are definitely looking up and graduation is definitely in the air. People are celebrating, and especially our guests today from Durham Public Schools in North Carolina. They shared with us that they were able to decrease their graduation dropout rate using script transfer. So we wanted to hear a little bit more from them. So I'd like to welcome Donna Ham, Record Center Manager at Durham Public Schools. Did I say your last name correctly?
That's correct.
Okay. Yeah. And then also Zachary Wells and Amy Bath. Hello. They are both the district records technicians. How are you?
We're great. How are you? Yeah.
Great.
We're good. We're just so happy you're here today. So Donna shares that you all are the dream team, and we just appreciate that you were able to join us today, and we're equally excited to hear what you have to share about the drop in or the decrease in your dropout rate. So during our time today, we're going to learn more from Durham Public Schools and how they're using script transfer. So let's go ahead and we can jump in. Tell us a little bit about Durham Public Schools.
Well, in Durham, we're located, of course, in Durham, North Carolina. For those of you that do not know where Durham is, we have 33,000 students. We're not too big and we're not too small. We have 53 schools. Durham is a very transient town. We're known as the City of Medicine, and we have teaching hospitals here, the VA, UNC to our west, coupled with the Research Triangle Park. We're a very transient district. We're also very diverse. So that there's a lot of movement going around in Durham. And that is in itself one of the reasons why we needed to go with script transfer.
Thank you, Donna. And just so everybody knows, we were calling script transfer K-12 transfer for the longest time, but we changed it to script transfer. So it may take a little bit for us to all catch up to that. Let's see, what else? So tell us a little bit about what you do. I know I shared your titles in the beginning, but what do you do? What does that mean?
Okay, so in Durham Public Schools, we have a record center. The Record Center and Power School are two different entities, but at the Record Center, we are all about student records. There's myself, who is the manager, and then we have two records technicians who oversee the responsibility of records throughout the district. We do have records specialists at all of our 53 schools. And I like to equate us to like a wagon wheel. There's the central hub, and our technicians are the spokes of the wheel, and the record specialists at the schools complete the circle. So we not as a wheel goes, none of us can operate independently of the other. It takes all of us working together to make the records department roll.
That's awesome. And I see you all shaking your head. So this must be something, yeah, that you feel like connected to as a group. I have so many questions for you guys. So what made your district start using script transfer? So I know you started talking about the transient population, you kind of led into it that way, but tell us a little bit more about that.
Right. Well, script transfer was a natural progression with us. We started using AIS for our scanning back in 2004. And in 2012, we began the online requests. And then we, as things progressed, as scripts progressed and your new products were coming out, we were like, oh, there's another need. And you ask why. And the reason is that we needed a better process for tracking student movement, accountability. And for those of you that are on the call that are associated with high schools, how about a cohort? And script transfer gives us that. It gives us accountability and trackability, and those are the things that we needed.
Okay, you said something, and I just want to highlight that again. You mentioned the fact that you brought it up to the company. Hey, we have this other need, and I think that we really we want to highlight the fact that we take a lot of suggestions, enhancement requests, like you, everybody that's watching our audience, they're so crucial to the products and what we continue to develop and enhance. So yeah, continue to just keep those, hey, you know, we've got this issue, and that if it's something that's going to help everybody, we're really willing to take a look at it and see what we can do to make everybody's life a lot easier and better.
So, hey, Bridget, let me expound upon that for just one brief moment. I just sent an email to my upline today because we had a call with Tommy, developer Tommy Strusis yesterday, and we brought up a need for Durham Public Schools. And he became very excited. He said, oh, this might be something that other districts can use. And so in my email today to my upline, I absolutely stated exactly what you said. This is how the new ideas at Scripps are birthed.
Mm-hmm.
Because districts are asking and you guys listen. And that's just phenomenal that there's somebody out there that's listening to us.
Oh no, we definitely listen. We listen to the good on it and we listen to the not so good, and that just keeps it makes us better and better. And we take it all in stride. Thank you for sharing that though. That is that's how we like to think of ourselves too. And we listen and enhance. All right. So how long did it take your team to get up and running with script transfer?
Well, that in itself was pretty amazing because, well, as everybody knows, what the processes are to get your board to approve a purchase. That in itself, we don't even need to go there. But it was approved in June of 2019. And by August 1, we had a product that was up and running for the 1920 school year. And we think that that is amazing. This product was up, it was running, and it was trained on in just 2 months. And then again, thank you, Tommy, for all of that, because he was an amazing trainer. And this was, of course, back before COVID, and we were able to get together and look on the big whiteboard and do some really big group training. So that worked out well. But we had this product going in 2 months.
That's great. And big shout out to Tommy. Hopefully Tommy's watching, but if he's not, we're make sure that he gets to watch this.
You'll have to share.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Another question. You shared that your dropout rate improved. So tell us about that.
Well, as we all know, we cannot prevent dropouts. Dropouts are dropouts. But what we can improve upon is the reporting, the tracking, the accountability that script transfer provides. You know, in the past, we've depended upon notebooks, and I know we could all raise our hand about the notebooks to record student movement. And for example, when a student leaves DPS, we rely on a quote records request to verify the student has indeed gone to, let's just say, ABC school. The request is logged into a notebook, then it's placed upon the shelf. And then as you can imagine, years go by, personnel changes, and the sheets in the notebook are lost. But we no longer have those problems with script transfer, and we love the history that script transfer provides. And I'd like to turn it over to Amy Bass, one of our records technicians, because Amy has been phenomenal with cohort, and she is a former data manager, so she can put that data manager hat on and help share some other information.
Thank you, Donna. The proof is in the pudding with our dropouts, or use our reporting tools associated with the script transfer. They're very crucial with the PowerSchool team and communication. Upon receiving a request from PowerSchool, from our PowerSchool team, in DPS, we provided documentation reflecting a specific time frame for all requested student documents. The documentation we provided cleared up or negated 6 question marks on a cohort year. If you work with cohort, clearing out how hard it is to clear up a question mark when they're sitting there. So finalizing 6 before it ever hit the schools to work on cleaning up is a big deal. As time has progressed, we continually supply Power School team updated withdrawal information for those cohort reports, and it's a team effort.
That's terrific. And Amy, I loved your face when Donna said notebooks. We all know about notebooks. Amy was like, please don't ever go back to them. Yeah. Oh, that's terrific. Congratulations on being able to gather that reporting so you could really reflect what was happening in the district. So, like you said, your script transfer was all in place before COVID. So with all the movement during COVID, was script transfer helpful in locating students?
I'm going to take over this question, but so yeah, it absolutely was. As we mentioned a couple of times, script transfer has been vital for our success, mainly for the tracking and accountability. But we can look at it also as another way, but where's the student going? So with the reports that script transfer offers, we can tweak them and we can show exactly where our students are moving to, county, district, or what charter or private schools they're going to and now attending. And we can pull those reports for our district level and principal level officials. That's to make them their job a lot easier. So this has been a real eye-opener during this COVID timeframe.
That's great. That is really great. And you're talking about trends, and you can see like, oh, okay, everybody's moving to this charter school. What is it that they have? Maybe we need to have one.
Exactly.
We need to like think about where these kids are moving. Right. That's great. Okay. Next question is that sometimes we get this comment from people that it takes a little bit longer. So script transfer takes longer than the average transfer using a fax machine, especially if that's what you're used to, is just being able to pop it in the mail or put it through a fax machine. So what would your team say about that?
Well, we are very adamant that these are our procedures. And we all know that there are always going to be people that put up a fight and they hate something new and they're always going to complain. But we stick to our plan, and script transfer is our procedure. And then we could always talk about the fax machine, security, who's standing at the other end of the fax. Could someone walk by and take a student's identity? Yes, they could. And how many fax machines are still working? I've talked to so many schools in which they just laugh when talking about their fax machine, that it is down. And so when it is down, how are you going to send records? Are you going to send them in the mail? You're going to be dependent upon the U.S. Postal Service to send student records. And if you're like DPS, if we have to mail something, we have to put it in the courier mail. We're dependent upon the courier to pick it up at one location, take it to another location. That location takes it to the post office, then it's stamped, So all of that is time. And so if you are using script transfer, you're talking about a school can go online. They can create their account. We have found that it just takes a matter of hours. Now, maybe I shouldn't say that, but that's what we're finding, that it just doesn't take long at all for the schools to be verified that they are who they say they are. They are able to make a request same day. And then if all dependent upon our end, if we have those records ready, we can upload and send immediately. And so we don't agree with the fax machine. And this is all about your procedures. And that is the way that we are using script transfer now.
Yeah, and when you're talking about that one piece, the sending of the records, I think everybody knows that everyone's time is so valuable. And of course, you want to do it the quickest way. But you want to do it the safe way too. And if you deviate from that, the platform, the script transfer, then you lose that reporting piece. You lose where the kids are going and being able to see and catch those trends. So I like that you guys are sticking to your, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. And this is just the way Durham Public Schools does it. Okay, so what other ways has script transfer helped Durham Public Schools?
This one, let's take it back to accountability. Since we are the hub, we can follow up on what is done and not done by the schools, which is our little circle on the wheel. We may receive a call from the new school asking for assistance, so we can pull the order and take a look at it. We can see any conversations back and forth between both schools. Someone saying, hey, I'm out of office, but I'll get this taken care of. I'm still looking for this document, whatever is going on. We can see that information. We can see the timeline when some items were opened and created. We can see when some items were sent, what was missed because the school's still saying, hey, I didn't get the birth certificate. We can open those items and take a look. Sure enough, you didn't. Let's see if we can find it. And then, we just reach out to or assist on our end if we have access to something. If it's in Power School, sometimes we'll just go ahead and handle it. But if it's a birth certificate, something in that physical cume folder, we reach out to the school and make sure it gets handled.
Thank you. And Power School is your SIS, just for those viewing that I'm familiar with Power School. Zach, were you going to add something, or did you want me to move to the next question?
You're all good. No, I didn't have anything to add. Sorry.
All right. Okay, so if you could give another district advice, what would you share?
I'll take that one. As mentioned earlier, just stick to your plan. If script transfer is your procedure for requesting records, then make it so. And I will tell you, Bridget, that I learned this little piece of advice in an earlier seminar. Gosh, it was back during, I think, the beginning of COVID. And you had Wake County on, and the same question was asked about procedures and whatnot. And Wake County said something to this effect, and I hope I get it all right. Yes, it is mandated that we send records, but it's not mandated how we send these records. And script transfer is the way in which Durham Public Schools send records. So that's our plan. And, as you can hear from this call, we're probably some of your biggest cheerleaders, but it truly has worked for us. And I think Zach has a little other piece of info that we have just discovered with all this COVID business.
Yeah, so with script transfer, it's also helped us with our device retrieval. With our district moving to one-to-one for every student, we're able to message the new school for assistance in getting if that device has not been returned. So working together with that new school and the old school to problem solve, it's been very helpful.
Yeah, that is a really clever way to use it. Absolutely, that makes a lot of sense, especially with how expensive devices are. All right, finally, is there anything else you would like for our viewers to know about?
Yes, the answer is yes. And we can all attest that we're only as good as the team behind us. And as you mentioned before, we've got the dream team over here in DPS. Nobody can get my people. But I want to share that the entire team at Scripps, from support to our reps, Cheryl and Kelly, and our developer, and I'm going to call him trainer extraordinaire, Tommy, are incredible to work with. And this is definitely, Scripps has their own dream team, and we are extremely happy to be with you guys and to be users of the products.
Oh, that is so nice, Donna. Thank you. I will let everybody know in case they missed that shout out, because that is that means the world to us. It really does. That is really kind. So Donna and Zachary and Amy, I can definitely see why this is the dream team. And thank you so much for sharing your experiences and most importantly, for being a partner with Scribbles. We love working with you, and we love getting to hear about how our products are actually making a difference. So thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you too. We really appreciate it.
Wonderful. So thank you all for joining us. We hope you learned a lot. If you have a question, please reach out. We'd love to help. As a reminder, this webinar has been recorded and we will post it on our YouTube channel. And I want to close by thanking Donna, Zachary, and Amy. We are so grateful to have such great partners, and we hope you have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Thank y'all so much for attending.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.